in North Myrtle as well as Myrtle Beach. You can get a hold of them at grandstrandlawgroup.com as well as by phone. Don't forget to give permission to Facebook so we can view your comments. You have to log into streamyard.com/Facebook. And if you have any questions or have any comments for Miss Stephanie, go ahead and type them in and we will get them answered the best we can here on GBN Live. Today's guest is Stephanie Sebring with Ground Zero. She is in the Myrtle Beach chapter, and stay tuned. We will get to know more about her in a minute. So welcome back. Thank you for coming to visit us, Miss Stephanie. First off, let's find out a little bit about you, where you grew up, your family. Tell us a little bit about you in general.
Sure. Thank you so much to GBN for having us, and we are very grateful for the opportunity. I am from Ohio. Go Bucks. And I have 6 children, 4 grandchildren, and I came here to Myrtle Beach in 2017, and I found home. So I love it here.
Good. So you plan on staying?
Never. God will be the only one that moves me.
I know. I always say, God himself would have to come do such and such. And even then I'm going to go, okay, can we discuss that?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about Ground Zero, how it started, how you got involved with it, just a little bit of information.
Okay. Well, when our president was a middle schooler, he had a life-changing experience and has spent the rest of his life trying to recreate that for other middle school and high school students. Ground Zero as an organization started in Eastern Tennessee in the basement of Scott and Kimberly Pacer. And through the past 25 years, ended up in Myrtle Beach in 2011. That building that we are in now, the old Wrigley Theater on Chester Street, spent about $2 million in 3 years in renovations to be almost what it is now. There's been obviously other renovations to the building since then. But Ground Zero exists for one sole purpose, and that's to share the gospel with students who don't know anything about their maker and how much he cares about them.
And that is a cool program.
Yeah. So some of the misnomers, if you'll just give me a little bit of leeway here, are that we serve students at risk or teens in need. Neither of those are true outside of the sense that we believe that anyone who has not met Christ is at risk. So that would be about the only way that those statements are even remotely in alignment with one another. So
that's good information.
Yeah.
So what is GZI on Wednesday nights? And kind of give us a little bit about that.
Okay. So Ground Zero has a 3-part strategy. We want to reach these teenagers. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that we do that is by holding what we call GZI, and the I stands for impact. So anytime you see the little I, unlike iPad that Apple uses, it stands for impact. GZI is our outreach night, and it's held on Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30. Any middle school or high school student can come. That's the only requirement. They are welcomed by mentors who care about them. We bring them into the building, feed them, give them coffee, drinks, get them all sugared up, let them play. We have so many games, and I would just invite any of your viewers who haven't been into our building to schedule a tour. Without question, the people that come in are impressed, and rarely do they know that we have this facility in Myrtle Beach. But GZI is our outreach. It's truly a club feel. We have a live DJ. Dennis Hubble from Hubble Entertainment comes in and DJs for us every single week. We have a lot of games, everything from shuffleboard, ping pong, foosball to 9 Square in the Air. We also have Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox. So there's a lot, and even giant size Uno and Jenga. So there's a lot of different ways that the students can get together. It's usually a downtime of decompression for them. They don't have to think about school. They don't have to think about home. They're just there with their friends hanging out. It's a very safe place to be. We have a lot of adult volunteers that serve as mentors
Mhm.
that work to develop relationships with the students so that they can speak into their lives and answer some of the questions, because these kids need adults. I think another misnomer is a lot of older people think that, oh, teenagers don't want to hang out with me. They need people to speak into their lives differently than what negative messages from social media and maybe even home and
Mhm.
school have for them. So we definitely encourage adult volunteers. So GZI, to answer your question, is our outreach night. It does carry a cost. So all of the things that we do throughout the year to raise money, it helps us serve these students. And we serve students from all over, primarily middle school and high school in Myrtle Beach, but also St. James, Carolina Forest, Socastee. So students come from everywhere. We
Yeah.
had last year on average about 40 students every Wednesday. We're now averaging about 120 every Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah, so we are growing.
That's a lot.
It
That's a
is a
lot
lot.
of,
So we need a lot of volunteers.
yes, I was going to say that's a lot of detail and organizing. And I
We
know you've
have
got companies that deliver food for you. And um, I mean, it's really a great um, event. I mean, just watching it that night I was there was just
mhm.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And I want to get back, but
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah,
So,
whenever it works for you. Yeah, because we appreciate adults that are willing to speak into the lives of
well, and it was
teenagers.
so cool to watch the not teachers, but the parents that are volunteers, and some that aren't even parents, but they get to go in and interact and help somebody. And I can also see where it benefit adults to learn from kids to make more understand, like you said, what they really are about instead of having this whatever preconceived idea of what kids are these days.
Yeah, I think
It's just,
adults just in general get frustrated because they forget they were teenagers and they forget how detached their thoughts and beliefs were from those of their parents and people who were in authority over them. But what's really cool is you're right. When so I'm about to turn 53 and my kids are all grown and gone, but staying in touch with the youth, it not only keeps us young, but it keeps us relevant and enables us to have those relationships that are so very necessary in order to raise the next generation. You know that old adage that it
oh,
takes
yeah.
a village. It will always take a village. You can have the best parents in the world doing all the right things, and the students can walk away and choose their own path. That's not the end. The end is where we all gather around that family and support them and pray for that child and basically make sure that they're surrounded by safe guards while they're going through that tumultuous time in their life.
And you guys have it locked up so nobody can come in and disturb
Right.
anything
Right. So
or
when the students come in, they check in. So we have their picture, we have their emergency contact information. So we know who's in the building at all times. Parents are more than welcome to come and take a tour outside of the GZI event, but no parents are allowed in. Again, it's just creating a safe place for the students to come to
you
go
don't have
belong
to
and
worry
grow
about what mom is thinking or dad's thinking or
because they're not there.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So that
we've
would be
got
good.
mom and dad type eyes on the students. So
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So are there any other events like GZI that happen throughout the week or
So there was iGrow. That was a next level program, and we have suspended that for now. We're looking to get that started at a later time.
okay.
We are concentrating on developing a little bit more of what we have going on with GZI, and we do have some pretty exciting events coming up too. So that's taking some brain power and some
Man,
staff.
it's good for you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. So with all the middle school and high schoolers in there, I'm sure you need a ton more adults. How do they get involved?
So if someone finds that their beliefs are in alignment with what Ground Zero's statement of faith is, then we encourage them to go to our website, which is just mygroundzero.com. I had to think about that for a minute. mygroundzero.com, and they can click on get involved. And there's a volunteer application. There's actually a volunteer video as well, which I found kind of comical. I shot it on my iPhone, but it gives a potential volunteer a good look at a lot of our current volunteers and one teacher who just basically said, you know what, teenagers aren't my favorite, but I know that I'm making a difference here. And there are volunteer opportunities where they're not directly interacting with the students. So if someone wants to volunteer, but they're like, oh, I don't want to necessarily get hands-on with the kids, maybe I can just go serve in the coffee shop. Or there are those opportunities. And once they get comfortable and familiar, maybe they do want to volunteer in a different aspect. But there's lots of different areas to volunteer at Ground Zero.
That's cool.
There's also our event. Maybe you don't want to volunteer for the student nights. Maybe you want to volunteer for Dragon Boat or the concerts that are coming in. We need those as well. Yeah.
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 Well, that's cool. You already touched on iGrow. So what is that? I know it's been suspended, but what is it?
So iGrow served as a reading ground for our student leaders. It was an in-depth Bible study.
Okay.
So when I talk about that 3-part strategy, the first part is reach. So creating high-level, high-energy experiences that any kids want to come to. So then our second part of the strategy is the equip. We want to provide them with the tools that they need to grow in their faith with Christ. And then that third aspect is send. We want to send them out into their communities so that they're equipped to share their faith in Christ and maybe bring some other kids in. But yeah, the Bible study was a Bible study, truly a Bible study. Okay. So studying different areas and focusing on what the Bible has to say about certain things. So
that would be powerful.
Yeah, it is, because, I think one of the things that has been brought up lately is we're all searching for truth. You don't have to be a teenager or even in that time of life to just be looking for answers. And you get back to what is truth. Ground Zero believes truth is just simply what the Bible says about it.
Right.
So that's the foundation that we want to provide for the students.
I read one time that if you read a chapter of Proverbs every day, you'll never have an issue. You'll never need therapy.
But you certainly know how to deal with it, or how God wants us to deal with it. So, and that's the thing. Again, adults, just even you and I, I'm sure that we could share things that are going on in our lives. They're not teenage issues, but they're still just as big. So, and sometimes bigger in the sense that they may have more people in our lives. So we're always needing to have, they say that you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. That's true in your teenage years, but it's also true as an adult.
And you need somebody that will always help you enrich and grow. And what's that old saying? You can try really hard to get somebody who's down, but they're going to bring you. If you hang out with them long enough, they'll bring you down before you can bring them up.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with, our equipment to do it. We're not equipped to be their counselor.
Yeah.
And so the constant negative, you start to listen to the constant negative, it starts to come in, even though you're giving them positives. What is it? 7 positives for every negative?
Something like that. But see, that's the messaging that our kids are getting on social media, and they live on social media. They're even getting it at school, and sometimes, unfortunately, they're getting it at home. We want to turn that around. We want to speak truth into their lives. We want to speak positiveness. We want them to know they matter and that they're valuable. They're priceless. So that's the focus of Ground Zero. So if the student does need after-school tutoring, if they need resources for counseling, we'll connect them, but that is not at all what we do. Yeah.
Well, after we come back, we're going to learn more about your upcoming Dragon Boat event, and you can tell us a lot more about it. So stay tuned, and we will be back with GBN Live and Stephanie Sebring.
Hi, I'm Justice Ann. I've been a canine liaison at Grand Strand Law Group for, 30 years? What's that? You don't believe me? I meant 30 dog years, of course. First rule of lawyering, read the fine print. Anywho, my humans at Grand Strand Law Group have a combined 20 years experience. I know, not as much as me, but that's in people years. So yeah, still pretty impressive. Real estate, estate planning, or probate, you need GSLG.
Grand Strand Law Group. Trust us, we have a dog.
Great Business Networking grew out of the idea that by creating lasting friendships within the community, we can make the community even better.
I was looking to network with professionals and to be able to refer my clients to somebody that I trust.
Well, it's really important to trust the members of the group because we really generate quality referrals, and to know somebody, be friends with them, and get that qualified referral is the key to success.
It is networking, but it doesn't feel like networking, and that is important to me. I come to the meetings, I have fun, I make great connections, and I help grow my business.
GBN, these are some of the best professionals in the market, and having that resource available to me, that's priceless.
Well, GBN is a network of business professionals that build long-lasting friendships that will not only grow my business, will grow yours as well. That's what referral marketing is all about.
GBN really is the most important marketing for your business. Check us out today.
I think so.
Yeah. So welcome back, Stephanie Sebring. She is with Ground Zero in the Myrtle Beach chapter of GBN. So,
Dragon boat.
biggest event, Dragon Boat.
Yes.
Just, it's all you.
Yes. Hopefully you guys have seen all of the billboards, media push that we've had out, this being part of it. So we're grateful to have this opportunity. But Coastal Insider, wherever you can find that. And I'm so excited because we are featured on Grand Strand magazine this upcoming month. So I've been waiting with bated breath, stalking Publix and Fresh Market, places I know that they put this publication out. But for all of those who've been a part of Dragon Boat, you should really pick this up. On the inside cover, there is an article, and you can look for yourself on the picture. So Dragon Boat is our largest fundraiser of the year. It is the 15th annual, so we're really excited about that. We have about 50 teams that are going to take the water this year, in addition to 4 club teams. So those club teams aren't professionally sponsored teams, but they are a group of 21 people that have paddled consistently together and travel all over the place. So two club teams from Pennsylvania are coming. 1 club team from Ohio. This is a group of women that are 65 to 80 years old. So for our community teams, you're going to have a little bit of competition there from ladies that are older than you and I. And then there's another club team that's going to be on the water, and they are a mixture from a bunch of different states. So those club teams, their times aren't going to count against our community teams, but it'll be another added level of fun on the water. I would like to thank our platinum sponsor, Dependable Services Plumbing and Air. We have other sponsors that have come back this year, and we're really excited that we have so many returning sponsors. The student boats. So we're having some student boats this year, and the way that those work, we do not ask the students to fundraise. What we ask is that local businesses come alongside them and sponsor that boat. So the way that this fundraiser works is each paddler, there's 21 on a boat, raises $250. And I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that last year at this time we were serving 40 students a week, and this year we're serving about 120 students a week. So the paddling cost did go up from $200 to $250 to reflect that increase in both inflation and the cost of eggs. I mean, do we need to talk about the cost of eggs? So at any rate, that is a very community-facing outward event, and we have a family fun zone there. It is a family-friendly event. There will be vendors there, so we have a lot of different vendors, but there are still sponsorship opportunities, there are still vendor opportunities, and we'll take teams clear up until the day of the race. We do encourage everyone to come in fully funded so that they are qualified to race in the finals. Last year, Monarch Roofing was our overall winner, so we're eager to get them back on the water. Joe Riddle's captaining that team this year, so we're looking forward to having them. And I've already gotten some calls, kind of talking smack, wanting to know the makeup of that team because they're putting together a team. So it'll be fun. It is just a great way for Ground Zero to share in the community. And, we coordinate with 22 Dragons. That is a company out of Canada that brings the boats, the paddles, the life jackets. So no one has to build a boat, even though we'll get to that in a minute. It's just a really great way for the community to come together and for businesses to bring all of their employees together. A lot of times employees are so spread out, especially in construction and realty and that type of thing, that they never really genuinely get together. This is an opportunity for them to all be under one tent with their families for the day and just have a great time.
I actually had a girlfriend last year that did it. She was in the middle of chemotherapy. And
Wow.
she paddled one of the boats, and she just did a great job.
You just have such a good time.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of building a boat, we do have the Colton Dixon concert coming March 16th. So his new song, Build a Boat, he's coming with Apollo LTD and Jordan St. Cyr. And then on April 14th, we have Sidewalk Prophets coming. And these are all indoor concerts. Tickets are available on our website. The other thing that we have that I wanted to make mention for our businesses is a block party, April 19th. It's on a Wednesday night. It will be from 6:30 to 8:30. It's for all our middle school students and our high school students. And it's in essence a career fair. So if any of our viewers have a business and they'd like access to our kids, never, ever, ever give access to our kids, but we are inviting businesses to participate. It's a $50 table fee. Bring your own table. But we allow you to set up in the street. There's going to be vendors there that night. Last year, Santee Cooper, Myrtle Beach Police Fire came, lots of politics. So it's a great event for our kids to be exposed to what life might look like after high school.
And that's important.
It's important.
That's
and you should start thinking about that in middle school. You may not land in a specific place and stay there, but we want to spark their excitement about what is next in life, you know? So, yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to get involved in Dragon Boat, just go to mygroundzero.com/dragonboat, and you can become a sponsor there. You can become a team. You can become a paddler. If you don't have a team, we still encourage you to sign up, because a lot of our teams, they're like, you know, we need 4 more paddlers. And so we can place you on a boat.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
If you can't get 21 people together, but you still want to do it, reach out.
If you don't have 20 people that are friends that you can get on a boat, you should probably check your friend list, right?
And there's always the opportunity to make more friends.
That's right. And that's a very valid point.
You never can have enough people to.
Yeah.
I mean, even as adults, you know, it takes a village to raise children.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes a village for adults to single moms, single dads.
You have a lot of people that move here from out of state and are trying to establish community.
Absolutely.
Or you have new businesses that are here trying to get involved. And Dragon Boat is a great way to accomplish both of those objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, we do these just for fun.
Yep.
So, what was your first job?
I worked at Kewpie Hamburgers the day I turned 16.
There you go. What was your position?
I mean, at a hamburger joint, like you serve hamburgers. I don't even know.
Night owl or early bird?
Early bird.
Dog or cat?
I really don't have any pets at the moment. I've had dogs in the past, but I'm not a cat person at all.
Yeah, me either.
Mm-mm.
No. Dark or milk chocolate?
Dark.
Favorite color?
Tiffany blue.
That's pretty precise.
Very specific, yes.
Favorite word or phrase?
Ooh.
I know.
So I have several. Audrey Hepburn is my idol, not because of her film career, but because of her UNICEF work afterwards. And she always said, the word impossible says I'm possible.
Oh, that's cool. I've not ever heard that.
Yeah.
And I love her, but I've not heard that. Favorite movie?
Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Favorite song?
Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Okay. And vacation spot?
I mean, I live here.
I know. But if you could go anywhere outside
I'd love
of
to go to Austria, but more reasonably, probably I want to go to Turtle Bay in Hawaii. So that would be fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this year I want to do When the Turtles Hatch.
Yes.
Down at North Myrtle Beach. I met somebody that did that.
Okay.
And they security, you know, so that they could just do it. And I would see videos, but I've never been able to do it.
That would be an interesting experience. It's something you can do right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's really not much you can't do here.
Right. That's a very true
With
statement.
a creative mind and a desire.
Yeah.
So, favorite mobile app?
I guess I'm going to have to say GBN.
And then
Todd will kick me off the show if I don't say GBN. No, I mean,
it kind of towards the end. So
yeah, so it's all already out there. Other than news and banking apps, like I don't use a lot of apps. I try to limit my time on the phone. So,
which we all need to start doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my job to be communicative and connected. Yeah.
So when you go home, you really want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
All right. As a member of GBN, in your words, what is your best part? What do you think needs to be said about GBN and our groups and what we are as a community?
Well, I do think we're a community, and I think that's the biggest difference. We get together. I know I can speak for our Myrtle Beach chapter. We get together outside of our meetings multiple times throughout the week. And it's not for additional meetings. It's because we've developed friendships with one another, and we just meet for lunch. We meet for coffee. We're always top of mind in each other's minds. So when we run into people throughout our regular day, or even neighbors that need things done, hey, I've got a guy. And I guess the biggest thing I would say about that is it increases your value as a person within your realm of influence. So whether that's your church, whether that's your neighborhood, whether it's just being at work and people are bringing things up, you're like, oh, I have somebody I can personally recommend them. And that's probably the biggest value to me personally. I recently referred our handyman in the group to my neighbor for this project. And the fact that the project became kind of a headache for both parties because the manufacturer wasn't sending the right parts. The fact that I knew who was taking care of my neighbor, it didn't risk that relationship because he's just such a quality person and really took care of her. So I think that's the biggest value, is just always having someone at the ready. And by doing that, you're supporting small business. So you don't have people going outside of here and having negative experiences, getting the job done that they want anyway. So I think the development of friendship is truly the biggest value that you're going to gain. And I don't want anyone to think that just because we're focused on first, business second, that it negates the value of business. Our chapter right now has over $1.8 million in closed business for the year. It's a rolling calendar year, so not from now until March, but it's an important aspect of what GBN is.
Yeah. Our group gets together at my house every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
And we have just a game night or we had Taco Tuesday last week.
And the fact that spouses and significant others, I mean, it is a family-oriented type business networking group. So
yeah, everybody's welcome at my house. It's kind of fun.
They all clean up too, right? Lori, come on.
For the most part, I'm always the one that's left, doing. I don't do it, Everybody's got to get their kids home and stuff like that. So the bulk of it is done. Yeah. And then I just do the little details and put it all back together. But
I've been a member of other networking groups, and GBN by far is not only just the best value for your money, it's been to date the highest return on investment. And
absolutely.
And Todd reminds me all the time, as a nonprofit, you came in and you were concerned that you wouldn't have anything to offer. Well, that hasn't been the case at all. So it's been reciprocated both ways. So very grateful.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
If you guys want to get a hold of Stephanie, you want to give me your number because is it? Okay.
Yeah, the 614 area code still, so it's Columbus.
Well, no, it says Tamara.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know who that is, but my number is 614-270-7707, and anyone can call me anytime about Dragon Boat or anything. It's just I shut it off when I go to sleep. That's it. So
do you have a website that they could go to?
We do. It's mygroundzero.com, and all of the information is there. So I would encourage them to spend some time perusing, just looking around to see everything that's there. So
I knew we had talked about it earlier, but I wanted to get it out there again. Yeah. So
thank you
for coming. Remember, if it's GBN Live, I appreciate you coming to do it. Hope to seeing you again.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too.
like, but it looked like there was a girl picture.
Oh, really?
Is that, I thought I saw. Okay,
He doesn't.
I saw this.
Yeah.
Oh, Tracy, okay. That didn't look like her from that little screen.
Okay.
So he's not gonna be here.
Right. He's on the.
Take this out.
Yeah, he did change. I don't know what he did. Change the number.
Well, that's funny. I saw Tamara and I was like, oh, crap, the right number.
Yeah. It's on here. It's.
Oh, honey, wait. You get, and she took them off. Get a mug. A mug? Oh, wait. She did do that. So there is light blue and dark blue. You only get them when you do the show. Oh, okay. I guess I'll do the